I went into labor at 35 weeks. Got to the hospital at midnight. Contractions were 1 to 2 minutes apart. I was 3 centimeters dilated. Contractions were strong and coming very regularly. Got in the bath to get a break from the pain. Highly recommend using water. Got out an hour later. It was 4 centimeters dilated. Because I was dilating, they gave me a pill to stop the contractions. It didn't work. They also administered the first dose of steroid for the baby's lungs. After a while, I got back into the bath, this time having IV antibiotics since they didn't know if I was GBS positive. 8 hours of contractions and they're still coming very regular and strong. 10 hours of contractions and they start spacing out. I stopped contracting after 12 hours. 1:30 p.m. I was discharged, 5 centimeters dilated and on bed rest. The next day I had back labor for 10 hours. The next day after that I headed to the hospital again. Got to the hospital after being in labor for 7 hours. Got checked, still 5 centimeters, then 60% effaced. Contractions were strong and very consistent. The baby kept falling off the monitor in this position, so I had to adjust. Contractions were very painful, coming 1 to 2 minutes apart. Baby was handling contractions like a champ. I got into the bath once again to dull the pain. Contractions stopped after being in the hospital for 5 hours, 12 hours of contractions. 1 week later, I started having contractions again. Got hooked up. Contractions were 1 to 2 minutes apart and I was 5.5 centimeters dilated. I thought for sure this would be our day. Contractions were so strong I got into the bath to dull the pain once again. Used the birthing ball to get baby in my pelvis. Unfortunately, contractions stopped once again and we were sent home. After those 3 weeks, I went into labor again at 37 weeks and 5 days. Started having contractions at 8 p.m. Got to the hospital at 10 p.m. Contractions were 1 to 2 minutes apart. Walked up to the labor and delivery floor and they checked me in. I was 6 centimeters dilated and 60% effaced. An hour after being on the monitors, I got into the bath. My contractions were night and day difference in the water. Got out of the water after 15 minutes and tried squatting. Used the birthing ball and walking around. Time to put the monitors back on. 12 o'clock a.m., still contracting every 1 to 2 minutes. Contractions were strong and lips were dry. Asked the nurse to check me at 1 a.m. Still 6 centimeters to put the peanut ball to use. I was so discouraged that I was still 6 centimeters. The peanut ball made my pain is 7. 1:30 a.m. my midwife broke my water. 8 minutes later I was 9 centimeters. Back into the bath I go. 10 minutes later I got out and started swaying and squatting at the end of the bed. My husband was the best support. Monitoring baby's heart rate during contractions manually. After 15 minutes, I got into the bed on my hands and knees. I had a very strong contraction and felt the fetal ejection reflex. I started pushing on my hands and knees, and then I switched to a side-lying position. At this time, they realized I had an interior lip 9.5 centimeters, so I stopped pushing and breathed through contractions. To try and get the lip out of the way, I laid on my side, but that position made the pain worse, so I flipped back onto my hands and knees. I was scared, but I had the urge to push again. After 4 minutes of pushing, baby Earl was born.
Yes, wait, I'm gonna pass it to you. I'm gonna pass it. Wait for getting close. Wait. There you go. Got it? Okay. Slow enough a bit. Let's get her. All right.
We have a girl.